whom are building companies that celebrate diversity and tolerance at the forefront. Please welcome Lana Zaher, former Vice President of International Business for Al Arz Tahina, Ofra Strauss, Chairperson of the Strauss Group, and Eyal Waldman, founder of Waldo Holdings and former President and CEO of Mellanox, to the stage. They'll be interviewed by Mayan Hoffman, Deputy CEO of Strategy and Innovation for the Jerusalem Post.
Well, we're here at the Museum of Tolerance, and the topic of today is celebrating the many diverse faces of the State of Israel. But diversity in many ways has become a catchphrase, just like the words innovation, inclusion. Of course, all of these words are essential, but we often really need to learn or understand how to define them. So, Lana, I want to start with you. Define for us diversity.
Right, hi. So I would start with a personal note on diversity. My family is diverse. So I was married to an Indian American guy. My brother's girlfriend is Colombian Spanish. I'm a Christian Arab from Nazareth who lives in Tel Aviv for years and who studied abroad in international schools and where there's a lot of diversity. The first question when I chose the international programs, my mother asked both me and my brother, is it diverse? And I did not understand why is it that important. And then when we went back home and started the business, having people from different backgrounds seems so natural. And this is the new global village. We're all in the business together. It is a small local business, but it is competing everywhere worldwide. So diversity, I think, is very, very natural. It's very healthy for every business on a personal and social level, and of course the business level. So.
Ofra, do you agree or want to expand in any way?
Well, I think I want to start on a personal note. What a great thing to have a conference talking about tolerance nowadays in Israel. So I think when I hear the word diversity, which is, for me, diversity is just, I learned it's facts and figures. It's just two questions, and now you can talk about what is the difference between people. Actually, being in the food industry, biodiversity is the biggest word. So diversity is really a lens to look at the world. But tolerance is the thing that really jumps into my mind when I hear diversity. It's inclusion. It's really action. So diversity is something that I just see everywhere, but what to do with it is the thing that really moves me. And sometimes I really wish I can take these lenses off my eyes and to, just fall asleep and be quiet. But you can't. Once it's on and you see what you see, it's how to put everyone together, and tolerance is actually this action that it's not really so natural. We think it is. We want to think about ourselves as, wow, we are tolerant, but we are not. So it's every day to work on ourselves and to look at it till it's a second nature. So diversity for me is a call for action, and it is about really how to make everyone feel that they belong. And I think we know each other through the relationship and the friendship that I have with your amazing mother. And I think that was for me really the first thing to understand that I can sit in Tel Aviv, speak with my friends, and wow, we agree almost on everything. But this action and to find new friends, and actually from just acquaintance to be friends, that's tolerance comes more natural when that happens.
So you're sitting next to somebody who actually took a lot of action to make sure that his company was extremely diverse. So Eyal, I want to talk about diversity in the workplace because you employ people not only from all sectors of Israeli society, Haredim, Arabs, religious, secular, but also you worked with people all over the neighborhood, meaning Gaza, Ramallah, I remember a neighborhood near Ramallah, and other places in the West Bank. And you built an international company, but starting by focusing on the diverse community that is right here at home. Talk about how you did that.
Yes, so first, thank you for inviting us to speak here. And so I was the CEO of Mellanox. We had 3,600 employees, and the majority of the employees were here in Israel. And I think if you realize that there's a huge potential of employees with amazing quality in terms of what they do and how they can work in all sectors of the Israeli infrastructure or community, you start to understand that you can utilize that and bring them in to work with you. So we started by being Arabs, Israelis, and they were part of the founding team, and they continued to grow. I think 10 to 12% of our employees in Israel were Arabs. Then if you look at the neighboring countries, there's huge potential for human resources. And it's actually much more economic efficient to employ Palestinian employees than them in Israel. So we started opening, the first one was in Ramallah, then in Nablus, Hebron, Rawabi. And then we decided that it's even more important to employ the Gazan engineers and bring them into Mellanox, bring them into the high-tech community in Israel. And I'm very proud to say we have like 150 employees in the Palestinian territories and in Gaza. We've been employing with them, we're working with them for about more than 10 years now. It's very successful. I think they're getting a lot, not just on the compensation side, but also on the professional side. And I think this collaboration between Palestinian and Israelis is very successful once you start to know how to work together, once you have the fear levels significantly reduced, and you start trusting each other and give not just tasks, but also compliments and start to bring real friendship because of the positive friction between the people that are working together. I think it was very successful, and now it's continuing within NVIDIA.
Incredible. No, I mean, I want to talk about diversity when we talk about internal as well. You had a lot of programs at Mellanox, and I'm assuming still do, to make sure that the Haredim or the secular, whoever it was, felt very comfortable. And you said that that actually impacted the ROI of the company. Explain that. What did you do, and how did that help you make money?
So first, again, I think it's all about human resources. It's all about the people. And when you find and allocate very smart people and are able to bring them into the company, it's very successful. So for example, for the Haredi women, it was very important to have extremely kosher kitchens. That what we've done. Also, some rooms we had to take the doors down, so there's no ichud, there's no them being one-on-one with someone else. And we've taken each sector. For the Arabs, we used to celebrate Eid al-Fitr, we used to celebrate Christmas, and Israeli holidays, all with kosher food, so everybody can come and celebrate Eid al-Fitr regardless of which religion you are. So the gain is we have amazing, take the cream of the best employees you can get into the company. Their compensation is slightly lower, although we compare them very fast to all of the employees according to their execution. And the ROI for the company is much better. I want to say it's not like it doesn't come with no difficulties. We had some extreme from both sides, from the Jewish side, from settlers, and we had some Arabs that were also very, on their side, Lumanim, I forgot how to say it in English. Nationalists, sorry, nationalists. So, and there was some negative friction also within the company. They did not work together, they could not work together. And sometimes I tried, I didn't understand why I can't put two guys to work together, and it just didn't work. But in other sectors, although we tried very much, we did succeed to have them work and collaborate because they understood that they need to succeed together in the economic side, and then we can talk about other stuff as well. So I didn't let anything in terms of politics get into the company. We were all equal regardless of where you come from and what your job. You're compensated according to your execution, and you have the same opportunities as everybody else.
So Ofra, it's interesting, we have a panel here today on business, and we actually have 3 women and only 1 man. It's not usual, I think, on a business panel. So I want to actually ask you, Ofra.
I feel good, that's okay.
You should feel very good, you're an excellent company. But you're a very dynamic and very intelligent and educated person. But you're also like me, you're small-framed and female. And so I'm wondering, did you ever experience challenges in the workplace for being a woman? Did anyone ever question your ability to do your job or to take over it, become chairperson of the 2nd largest food manufacturer and distributor in Israel?
Well, I remember when I first became a chairperson of Strauss, I was asked by a journalist, how is it to be a woman in the business world? Well, I said it's amazing, really, because I never thought it's an issue. Okay, but then when I was asked again and again about it, I said, okay, it's about time I will, look reality in a different way and look at numbers. That's when I understood that really, wow, I was lucky. I was blind, not so sensitive, I assume. But it's really, I just enjoyed doing my work, and this whole thing of diversity and inclusiveness and gender wasn't top of mind at that time. I'm now almost 30 years at the Strauss company, coming from the US, and I really, only when I looked at the numbers, I understood, wow, we have a lot of work to do. And I remember talking about it 20 years ago. Many asked me, why are you doing it? Why are you pointing the fact that you are a woman? And it wasn't really politically correct for a businesswoman, or man, by the way, to talk about this thing. So it was, took really almost 10 years to make it, to raise the flag. Only then could you really do all the changes that I needed to do in the company, buy in. Because all of us think that we are open, that we're tolerant, that we love our, our spouses, and we respect our kids. But this is really something very different. It's to change paradigm. It's not about, it's really, culture of companies is not such an easy thing to change, because people come to work at our companies already with, they were raised in different places, and now to create something new together, which is different from what they see at home, or even in the army, or us, which is such an important part of our life. I think what happened in the last really 20 years here in Israel, that to talk about gender, to talk about inclusivity and inclusive culture in the workplace, we went a long way, and it was really step by step. But today when I look at the audience, it's one of the first things I look at, how many women, and it's exactly what you did. And that's something new and amazing that starts to happen, not fast enough when I look at the numbers. And I can just say I was really lucky to have an amazing father, an amazing family that thought that I can do everything, and I should, and they should ask for me to work really hard. I was really, that's how I was raised. But I just realized it's not enough to work really hard for women nowadays, and it's about really opening up. And I think I'm frustrated every day when I look at the numbers at Strauss, and I think we are doing tons of things to change it. It will take time, but I think having so many partners doing it with us, we have amazing force, the business world, to change everything, including that in our country.
Amazing. So I want to have some time to speak to Lana, because Lana is actually from a family where you completely broke the molds. Your mother was one of the first, if not the only, was the first, I think, actually, woman CEO from an Arab community in the sector. But also 3 years ago, her name is Julia, your mother, she's called the Queen of Tahini, and she caused a bit of a backlash when she decided to fund an Arabic language LGBTQ support hotline. Now, you were already very involved with the company at the time. So tell me, what drove Al Ars to make this move, knowing that, being gay is something that is not readily accepted in many parts of the Arab community, but you were willing to take a stand?
Right, so I want to start with a number. So Arab LGBTQ are 2% of the Israeli society. And it's a big number. It's a big number, they have no reference, nowhere to go. And when we first got a call from the Aguda in Tel Aviv saying that this is a case, but of course, let's meet and learn more. And when we learned the numbers, 2% is 180,000 of kids that when they reach the age of 13 and they realize they are different or they don't know what road to take, they have no reference, they have no, they cannot refer to their family, to their friends, they don't know how people will react. So the hotline, we supported it immediately, of course. It's in Arabic, to bring psychologists and social workers, just to listen to them and support them. And yeah, it was not easy. We've been through a lot in the Arab society. Many people went against us, but on the other hand, we got amazing support, both from Israel, and when the article was published in New York Times and like many other major newspapers in the world, we got also global support. I think we're lucky today that we took even the modest part in changing, or at least increase the awareness in the Arab society of what at least the credentials of what is LGBTQ. Let's start, let's have it, let's put it on the table. It is happening, it is there, and we need to do something about it. And I realized that how much important the private sector is to change social life. And we all, everything small we do really make a big effect. So I'm happy we did that. I'm really privileged, I think, to be part of that.
Amazing. Well, we're actually out of time, and I want to make sure we have time for all of our panels, but this has been so enlightening, and thank you all so much for being here.
Thank you.